Welcome back to Feel Good Friday here on the 7 with Dr. Sean here on Fox Soul. My next guest is a motivational sensation. He is a wonder with a great story. Welcome to the program, the Billionaire P.A. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing, my brother? Good to see you. Say hi to Isaiah.
Isaiah, how you doing?
Meet yourself.
Appreciate your assistance, man.
So, how you doing, man?
Oh, man, I'm feeling healthy, wealthy.
Let me hold something there.
No, it's good to have you on. I'm glad you came. Now, when we saw each other in the hallway, you mentioned you had just come from New York. You spent some time in New York. What were you doing in New York?
I was just
curious.
Oh, I was out there speaking, and just straight to the point, somebody ordered some buttons from me. My Speak Dreams buttons that I'm always wearing, tapping myself into my dreams. And I actually walked to his house to deliver them. Because I was like 1 minute, like maybe 7 minutes away, so I took him down the street. He ordered like 50 of them.
In Brooklyn?
Yeah.
What part of Brooklyn?
I don't remember. It was like Flatbush, I think.
Man, don't do that again.
No, but my friend Blue Pill, shout out to Blue Pill, he called me. I was talking to him while I was actually walking to the house, to my friend's house, and he was like, man, people in Brooklyn support you? Oh, you on, bro.
Oh, yeah, Brooklyn's tough, man.
Like, don't spend money like that on just stuff like that. I was like, hey.
Let me tell you something to your face. If Brooklyn likes it, it's real.
Yeah.
Because Brooklyn will shut you down in a minute, man. But you have an amazing story that I want people to get. You know, Isaiah had his moment through the smallest and the strangest of incidents, right?
Yeah.
Some people make it that way. Some people have this sort of moment. And the strange thing about his story is that there's a 10-year interval between the time that it happened and the time that he got blessed because it was happening or had happened. Your story is a bit more granular. It's a bit more nuanced because you spent some time being homeless. Is that right?
36 months.
Wow. Talk to us about that.
Basically, before I ended up in California, I went to jail over like 20 times before I was 21. I wanted to change my life. All I ever knew was selling dope. And my grandmama always told me to take my dope mindset and create a dope product and sell that with the same mindset. So,
yeah, we can clap for grandma. That's good advice.
You know, one of my quotes that she inspired me to write was, never spend your present time with a person that you don't have a future with. So, everything that I do now, if you ain't talking about good credit, owning land, building businesses, you know, tech businesses, shout out to my friend Don Dixon, you know what I'm saying? If you ain't talking about ownership, I don't want to be a part of it.
Now, one of the producers told me, I believe, that you started writing your book while you were sleeping in your car.
Yeah, I wrote 83 books.
You've written 83 books?
Yeah.
But your first one, am I right? You started writing when you were sleeping in your car?
I wrote 79 in my car. Called My Mind is Wealthy.
Really?
All programmed in my head. It's okay for your pockets to be broke. Just make sure your mind makes sense. I just tested positive with MTD, motivated transmitted disease. If you touch me, look at me, email me, or hate on me, I will infect you with motivation.
So let me ask you this.
I just shook his hand. What I got? What I got?
You motivated, man.
Right. Me too. But you know, and I appreciate that. But it's important for the audience to not just get the, you know, the glory of the story, right?
Yeah, no,
it's important for people to understand the journey, because what you're doing tonight is that there's somebody who is where you were, and they need to know not just how it ends, but they need to understand how to survive the hateful middle, because that's where they are. So just for the sake of being truly inspirational, truly motivational, take us into that car, what it felt like, how you got there, all of that.
I was in the back of the truck. I couldn't stop going to jail, so I wanted to get away from the environment that I knew. All I knew was hustling. That's all my whole life ever been. So I moved away from Alexander City, Alabama. I drove 3 days all the way to Oakland, California. I was actually homeless in Oakland. I wasn't homeless in LA. I was in Oakland, San Francisco, and you know, the Bay Area, San Jose. So I was in the back of my truck, and I just started changing my negative mindset to a positive mindset. So I deactivated my brain from negativity and reprogrammed it to positivity. So I started to write these inspirational quotes and I would hang them up on the roof of my car, and I would surround myself around positive energy. So one of the first quotes that I ever wrote was, "Speak your dreams into existence." And everything that I wrote in the back of that truck, I actually live right now to this day. I manifested it. So, you know, when people say,
yeah, no, that's great. Let me ask you this, because I want Isaiah to answer something. But what's in the box?
That's a nice box.
Yeah, what's in there?
In the green room.
Let's put it this way. If you ever catch me without that book or without that, I'll give you a free book. And one of my books, $900. I have a philosophy that you should never get caught without your dream, because my grandmama always taught me to be prepared for any opportunity that presents itself. So when you ask me what's in that box, it's my grandmama dream. It's my little sister dream who got killed when she was 7. They didn't get to grow up. So you see a book, I see my family legacy.
No, that's rich. That's rich. Isaiah, you know, listening to him to talk and to emote through language, I'm sure in Houston and in the places where you have worked and lived, there are young men who both of us wish had his mindset.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And many of them don't have individuals like his grandmother or mentors in the community to guide them. And that's what they're lacking. And to see a good example, because you do better when you know better.
Yeah.
And if all you see is a situation where people are going to jail, people are selling drugs, people are hanging on the corner, if that's all you know, that's all you know. So they have to be exposed to more. They have to see more. And individuals like yourself and I, we have to get back in the community and mentor to those people.
Yeah, and as we mentor young men like you, model, you provide the example for what young men and young women can do and can become. And I guess one of the things I want to ask you is that you have 7 steps toward developing a wealthy mindset. Is that right? Tell us what they are.
Well, that's the book right there, 7 Steps to Developing a Wealthy Mindset. Step number 1, the word wealthy, it spells W-E-A-L-T-H-Y. The first 2 letters spell we. So I was one of those people that decided to let go of the ego and created the we go. So wherever you go, we go, so we can speak these dreams into existence together instead of me doing it individually.
Yeah. How old are you?
That's an interesting question. I don't live by normal society. I don't live by age. When you say how old are you, I actually don't get old, I get new. So because I'm 37, but I've only been 37 one time in my life, because when you speak that, I'm careful what I speak into my life and what I allow people to speak over me. So every year when I age, because I celebrate my birthday on the 19th of every month. And anybody that know me personally, I've always done that for the past 4 years. Because I was battling with depression and I had to figure out a way for me to get out of it and, you know, be joyful with myself. So I started paying myself on the 19th of every month and celebrate my birthday every month.
Why were you depressed?
Just through the life that I lived, before, you know, I made more money selling dope than doing positive stuff. You know,
is your mother still alive?
Yeah, she's still living.
Your father still alive?
Yeah. My mama watching right now. She said, "Don't tell all the family business."
You have brothers and sisters?
Yeah, I do.
How's your relationship with them?
Man, it's great. I actually, one of my sisters, I just took her daughter, and I told her her name Paris, and she watching this too. She's 13. I told her that, you know, she my child, because I want to teach her how to own her own business, and we creating her first T-shirt with my clothing brand, and she getting 30% of the proceeds, whether she sell it or not, because I want to teach her how to get paid royalties. Do
you have any children?
Yeah, I do. I got one.
You got one, a boy or girl?
I got a king.
You have a boy?
Yeah.
How old is he?
17.
17 years old?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So what's it like to raise a 17-year-old boy while you are still very much accomplishing your own dream? Because when I have 2 sons, and I made it my business to make sure that my sons saw me trying to reach my dream, so that they would know what it looks like to chase something.
Yeah.
And I made it my business not to make their lives about me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering, what's it like for you to be working to accomplish something that's special to you, even as you work to raise someone who's looking at you?
Yeah, well, me personally, you know, I'm a man of integrity and a man of truth. I haven't been in my son's life as much as I would like to. You know, so one of the dreams that I'm actually speaking into existence, in which I'm glad you asked that while we're here, because I'm speaking it into existence that, you know, God will bring him, you know, back into my life.
I received that.
Due to, you know, my trials and tribulations, you know, I don't have the best rap sheet, but I own up to all my responsibilities, and, you know, I have a very relentless mind. So, you know, my dream is to teach my son how to...
Can you stop for a second?
Yeah,
I'm not being rude,
no,
so please.
Yeah.
But that's where your power comes from. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What you just did is where your power comes from. That willingness to be authentic and to tell the whole truth and every lie be damned is where your power comes from.
I appreciate it.
That's where your power comes from. And I believe as long as you do what you just did and the way that you just did it, you're gonna need some more boxes.
I appreciate it, my
Yes,
man.
sir.
I
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
it.
Yes, sir. Isaiah, you know, what are you getting and sensing from the Billionaire P.A., our brother?
Inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely.
That no matter how many mistakes you make, you can always turn your life around. And that's what he did.
He embodies that.
Yeah. What I'm interested in is, when did you realize you were at that low point? You said you had been to jail more than a dozen times, but what happened to you in your life specifically that made you say, I have to do something different now?
Well, it was a time when I was in jail one time, and I called my grandmama, her name Clemmy Benson, and she asked me, how many times did you eat today? And she was always inspirational. And at this time of my life, I didn't believe in God until I was 22. And she asked me, how many times did you eat? And I was like, Grandmama, these people feed us every day at 11. Why you keep asking me the same questions every day? It's like I was facing 5 years. And then she said, you know, that's crazy. You ate one time, but I paid for the meal twice. And I said, what does that mean? And she said, I pay taxes for them to put your black ass in there. And I also put money on your books. So whenever you decide to get out, you do something positive and you charge people for it. And you don't let nobody tell you that you're not worthy. And so when people talk about, you know, when I put my first book out, it was $963.36. 36 represents the number of months that I was homeless. 63 was the number of straight days that I actually slept in my truck. The number 9 stood for new life. I changed my name to Billionaire P.A, you know, stepping into my new life. And I would watch people and they would say, you know, I wouldn't give $900 for a book, but you'd be the same person that would pay $20 for a book and not read it.
You know what's interesting, Isaiah? What's interesting is that, you know, this is what I love about Fox Soul. Because Fox Soul is, you know, most networks, most shows would not have a platform for a young man who's aspiring and developing and evolving and substantiating himself to be able to come on and do what he just did. And the beauty of our network, last night, I had Columbus Short on the show, right? We've had Mona Scott Young. We've had, you know, Tiffany Haddish was on the network. But we also get to have young men like this, whose names you don't know yet, right? Whose books you haven't read yet. But if they keep going, and because we keep going, you're going to get to know who they are, and that's what I love about Fox Soul.
It's always great to have this platform. And we all know Tyler Perry's story. He was living in a car.
That's
and
right.
Look at him now.
That's right.
Building studios, employing people, making a difference in lives, and we can expect the same from him. If you stay on that trajectory.
Oh man, I appreciate it.
No. I hope that we're infecting you too, since you infected us.
I mean, when I was sleeping in my truck, I wrote a lot of quotes, and when I listened to you, man, you got a lot of quotables. I remember at least 2 or 3 of.
I appreciate
just from sitting here listening to you. So you know, when I was in my truck, man, I spoke into existence that I would be on a platform like this. I just needed a second chance at life, and I got me a mentor. His name Walter Hill, and I'm always about, you know what I'm saying, if I could take a minute to say this, I'm always about giving people their flowers when they living and not when they dead. So when you hear me drop these people's name, it's not that I'm just doing that, you know what I'm saying? My friends really took their time to come support me. Yeah. And it's people that start businesses and they can't get nobody to support them. So when somebody support me, I say, here your flowers is while you living, because we buy more flowers for dead people than we do people that's living.
Yeah, that's rich. You ought to clap for that. I believe that. I believe that 100%. Listen, we have somebody in the audience who wants to make a statement. Tell us who you are and say what you want to say.
How's everybody doing? My name is T Spice, and I do have the pleasure of being mentored by this brother right here. So first off, I want to thank you for the opportunity that you've laid down for me, myself, and what I'm planning to do to change the world as well. My question is, because I have spent some time with you and I know how important it is, the word choice that you make on a daily basis with every sentence that you speak. I wanted to know a little bit more about why that's important, the words that you choose to use.
It's a good question. Thank you.
It's a great question. So if you listening to me, you know I already said the C-A-N apostrophe T word once. Every time we say any negative words, everybody in my company, we do 19 push-ups, 19 sit-ups, 19 jumping jacks. We train our mind not to say T-R-Y. Notice I'm not saying them, I'm spelling them. So I don't say B-R-O-K-E. I only speak positive things into my universe. And so I believe.
Why?
Because your greatest wealth is your health. And what good is it to get wealthy when you don't have no health? What good is it for me to be a billionaire when I'm not able to go out here and inspire young children to go get their dreams?
You're saying something rich. What's the connection between your words and your health?
Because I control, the words is I control, you know what I'm saying, I control my future. I control, if I say I'm going to be healthy and I actually believe that, I can actually, you know, when you ask me what's enough, sea moss is in that case. Iris moss is in that case. I take three of them each, per day.
So what I hear you saying to me is that words have a particular power, and they take on a life of their own. And if you're not careful, you'll start living what you just said.
Yeah, well, people will hang out with you based on the way that you talk.
That's rich. That's rich. Isaiah, I want you to answer the same question, actually, if you don't mind, because I think the question he asked is, because you do interviews and you talk to people for a living. How do you go about deciding what you're going to say, how you're going to say it, how you're going to approach it? Because words have power.
Exactly. Well, what I do is I research the person that I'm going to interview, and I don't want to be caught by surprise and look like I don't know what I'm doing during that particular interview. And so I research the person and craft my questions or my conversation from that.
You know, it's interesting because I found that an entire interview can change with one sentence.
Yes.
With one sentence. And I've also learned in my personal life that sometimes it's the words you don't say or that you refuse to speak over somebody's life that determines the quality and the content of the relationship you have with them. And no, it's a rich question. It's a very valuable question because I don't think people understand the significance of what's coming out of their mouths. And so I have about 3 minutes left. And I'm going to ask each of you, because you represent two very different things. You represent to the audience someone who has had difficulty, who's come through a night season, survived it with his dignity and his head up, right? Someone who knows what it is to be authentic, who knows what it is to have command of language. And there are people out watching this program now who are not as further along in the journey as you are, but they are desiring to be. And they are still in the car. They are still getting the phone call from their grandmother in the jail asking, how many times did you eat? Take 30 seconds, 30 good seconds, and give them something that'll make them get up tomorrow and want to live.
Well, when I was locked up in jail, my grandmama told me, you know, you can take your mind and you can allow your mind to travel wherever you want it to go. So I never, when people would say you was locked up, I never actually said I was locked up because my mind was free. I sent my mind to California, I sent my mindset to Hawaii, I sent my mindset to Africa. You know, and then my mom, she also told me that wherever you let your mind go, your ass will follow.
Facts. Isaiah, I got 30 seconds. And what I've tried to do with you tonight is to help the audience understand that it's not always the big thing that gets us there, to honor the little thing, even the mistake. Would you mind just saying to the audience, to the people who are watching, just a little bit about what you think and what you believe is possible if people just keep going?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you have to have a map for that journey and that dream that you have. And then you follow that map and get to that dream by meeting people on the way. You find people who are positive in your life, individuals who will mentor you on the way. But it's the work that you have to put in that will get you to that next step in your life. You have to do the work. Just because you want to be a reporter, it won't manifest itself. You have to put in the work. You have to do the work.
No, that's rich. That's rich. We ought to celebrate that. We ought to celebrate that. I want to thank both of you for being here tonight. I want to honor both of you for what you've invested in the audience.
I feel like I owe you homework or something, though. You're so scholarly.
Can I give you some, bro?
I receive it, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to give you this for you.
Thank you, sir. I'm old. You got to reach.
It say, I speak dreams into existence. And this right here say, I don't look for jobs, I create them.
There you go.
I received that. Thank you, man. Thank you, man.
You've been infected with motivation now.
There you have it. There you have it. There you have it. So listen, I want to thank our studio audience. I want to thank the people who've been watching us on the Fox Soul mobile app. I want to thank the Billionaire P.A. I want to thank Mr. Isaiah Carey for being here today. If you're in the Los Angeles area, want to be a part of our audience, you can email us at audience@foxsoul.tv. Make sure you keep tuning in to Fox Soul. I see you. I will see you. I will see you on Monday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. Up next is the Mike and Donnie Show. Take care of each other. I love you.
The relationship is kind of new, so we are still learning things about each other. Like I drink, he doesn't. So he likes to judge me, okay? So it was a few weeks ago, it's a Saturday, it's like 11:30 in the morning. And he looked at me and he was like, Mia, what the hell are you doing? It's not even noon. And I was like, it's game day, shut up. You know, and then he goes, yeah, but you are watching Harry Potter. Oh, well, good observation, but Quidditch is a game, all right?